So I've been asked how I made this, and here's how. First thing is, though, before you do anything, you're going to need to sand these threads down to a max of 11.5 millimeters. You're going to use all this stuff. You're going to need the 1/4 inch wire wrap, some type of braided sleeve, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 wires of your 7 wires of 16 gauge, and then at least 3 of these 20 to 22 gauge wires. Tools you'll need are needle-nose pliers, a pick of some kind, and then of course the connector, which is this kind, not this. You need these because these are the correct length, and you can see these are very short and stumpy. So these are wrong. These go on the side of the pack with the booster tubes. That's it. They also go from the... there's also a few other places, but not on this cable. First thing is with this, you're going to need to come in here, take this piece of rubber out. Don't need that anymore. Nor do you need that. That's done. Got this. First, you're going to need to grab your big wires. Even them up on one side. Get them in a kind of a circle. Make sure they're not like crazy twisted or anything. Make sure they're pretty straight, otherwise it won't go in. And let's get this guy on a different side of the other one. Now you need to do is shove these 16 gauges in there till they poke out the other side. Kind of get them all pretty much even. Boop. Then take your small wires, this guy. This one, we'll need this too. Let's start with orange. This should go easy. You slide these in the outermost sides so you can see a little bit out here. Let's put a yellow between the two whites. As you can see, it's really hard to get that in there. So this comes in handy. Kind of just moves the wires out of the way. And then as you can see, you can usually just slide them right in. You may need to use these to get them in deep enough. These little wires fill in any extra gaps around the big wires, so then you can't pull this out easily. And let's put the last one. That's a square one. Let's do it right here. Make sure you don't stab yourself. Not fun. Okay, if any of them are sticking out up here, just kind of push them on a hard surface. If that doesn't work, just pull them out a tiny bit so you can't see them anymore. Now, you want to make sure all your wires are at least 24 inches from the nut on this connector right there. And mine are. So that's that. Next, you're going to need to take your wire wrap, which is 1/4 inch black 1/4 inch. What I like to do is I like to take these tiny ones out of the equation at first. Makes it easier to get these bigger, thicker ones all correct and straightened out and in a good, even pattern. Now you can either just leave them straight, or if you want to, you can kind of spiral twist them. If you spiral them, it will make it easier just to bend it when you have it on the pack. I prefer mine straight because it straight retains the shape that you bend it in. So let's say you want it to go like 90 with this wrap on it, it'll stay at that angle. Straighten up your wires as best you can. Then put these. Either you can, with the little ones, either you can do the same thing as the big ones, or you can kind of spiral them all over the place to kind of make it look a little more random and done by hand. I usually just keep them straight. Maybe give this thing a little bit of a twist every once in a while. Kind of like that. Then grab your cable wrap. I'm going to start down here. Just hold it tight. Leave a little gap between them. And then just either twist it like this or just kind of get it straightened out and wrap it. Now don't worry about these little wires looping anywhere random. It'll look better when it'll actually look better if they just are random. See, kind of pretty much there, just about done up here. Make sure it's all pretty tight before you get to the end, because otherwise it'll just usually free slide and your cables won't actually hold position. First, push it good and tight. All you do is just, to make them tight, all you do is just pull and twist the way it's been twisted on. Now once I get towards the end, what I did is just don't put a gap in. Makes it easier when you get it in the pack. And then I just put some tape on the end to make sure it stays. And that none of these contact anything else in the pack and short it out. Last thing is you take your sleeve, just thread it on like so. And that's it. If you stayed to the end, here's a little teaser for you. Future video.